Second round.
Second try.
Second try.
Second chance. Oh well.
Sometimes there's no second chance.
Oh well.
Interesting commentary.
Okay, let me see. It's not this one.
Okay, now the line is clear.
Seems like it, yeah?
Is it?
Hi. Good evening.
I always have this problem of sharing.
Good night.
Good night.
It's almost-
Wailun is actually watching.
It's like,
our video.
Wailun,
yeah,
hello.
it's for those who couldn't sleep.
It's almost good morning.
Yeah.
Hi, Richard.
It's like obviously I can't sleep tonight. We're going to the airport in a few hours time. And it's just that it's just too many things
很
happening.
想念你啊，我掛住你啊。
Hi Wailun, where is Wailun now?
Wailun
Is he travelling?
I don't know，你
Also？
喺邊度啊，Wailun？
How come 可以咁快 share 咗嘅？我 share 嚟嘅。
點解你 share 我嘅？你應該 share 你嘅 Facebook 㗎
係咪？Okay，唔笑我。Okay, you all go share first. Can you please stop first?
I feel very
Do you
sleepy.
remember or not?
Yeah.
Because normally I do for you, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Because
Yeah, so now you
Share?
have to learn.
wait, I need to click to
No, you
this
just...
one.
Well, you can always just copy link also.
Jessie just don't know how to share from her
Okay.
own fan page.
Yeah, sorry. It's like, it's me. Okay. I wonder how many are still alive.
Alive? What is that?
Okay, it's past. It is past my bedtime.
How many?
I wonder how many are still awake now.
The answer is all.
Okay.
People are
This
alive.
is bad. Okay. Okay.
Yo, Wailun is actually at Japan right now. Yo.
Alright, I know Wailun somehow is travelling and
He says his soul is in Japan. Is it
is
because
it?
he's come back already?
Oh, yeah, you are right. Man.
Okay.
Yeah, he came back already. He always travel one.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like it's raining outside.
Gong Yu, should we chat something while Jessie is busy learning
Sure.
or
Yes,
sharing
please.
the
Okay, I'm
Facebook?
almost done. I'm almost done.
Yeah, even though I always see you doing Facebook Live with Jessie, since I am Mr. Director,
Yeah.
this is the first session we're doing together.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Together with you.
Aye.
Earthquake, water, and pink fire.
Ah,
Alright.
But this pink fire is sunset already. I need to sleep.
Yeah, I know it's late.
Hi,
Okay.
Brian. Hey, Brian's still awake.
So almost everyone is still awake. Okay, get to the topic. It's just like, yeah, I've managed to share to the few pages. It's like, tonight's Facebook Live is like very impromptu, okay? Because I'm supposed to be packing. My luggage is there. I decided, okay,
But
let's
you're still not
pack.
yet packing.
Yeah, I've not packed.
not
But
packed
it's
yet.
okay. I still have an hour to do so. I still can pack because 2 o'clock we need to go to the airport.
Yeah.
Okay, but I just find that lately, like we have done like numerous Facebook Live about like how how things can be quite emotional, how things can happen in a way to trigger of like lessons to learn, to
Yep.
let us look into ourselves. It can be like the moment in time where it's like the greatest test of all.
Yeah.
Okay, to a lot of people. Alright, and then of course today also is like there's a lot of things happening, right? Since the morning you see like Facebook, there's a lot of news going on from France, okay, Paris one, which is
Yes,
sad
the on
and which is a
fire.
bit like 可惜. How to say 可惜 in English? Besides sad, I don't think it's a sad, but 可惜 is like,
Well, one word
how
is
to say that?
Regret. But it's not
waste.
regret.
It's a waste.
Such
Okay,
a waste.
maybe yeah, it is really such a waste for things like that to happen. And I've also seen like some articles after that, like people sharing and all that. It's like probably it's not confirmed. I've not been following because I've been busy doing a few consults today before I really fly off. And I saw that people saying like suggesting that they found like empty abandoned cars with like gas cylinders and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and they have made a few arrests.
Yeah.
Alright,
I
and
haven't followed up with that news though.
Yeah, I have not,
I don't know
but
whether-
it is
yeah.
quite from a quite reliable source
Okay.
also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm not sure what exactly is going on, but I can see like on social medias and Facebook, there's a lot of anger going on, okay? But at the same time, of course, you can see a lot of people if like really being very generous and very loving. Like one thing amazed me is like in a matter of like probably a day or a matter of hours, it's like people have pledged to at least like don't know how many euro millions of like from the public of like people really donating up to rebuild the whole Notre Dame, which is amazing. So I see it's like it's a very mixed emotions type of thing. So I thought of like tonight, since I can't sleep and we are not allowed to sleep because it will be very difficult for us to wake up.
It's not about that you can't sleep. It's about you haven't do your packing, so you can't sleep.
Right? But the thing is, I thought of like why not? It's like probably some of you out there, probably you might not be sleeping so early, or probably you have trouble sleeping also.
Yeah, so that we have some small chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to know something, you can actually type down the comments.
We can talk and we can respond. And I mean, the thing is, I'm just curious because it's like when I see okay. Another thing is of course the social media of like one and only my idol like Sammy Cheng's issues, and of course it's not. I don't think it's something that of course like anyone besides 當局人啊，當局人 means like whoever that is
in the
involved,
situation.
okay, involved in the situations, who handle the situations. I don't think anyone on the outside should have any says on it, okay. But the thing is, I'm just curious. I'm just like probably it's like once sharing is like what do. Like, I mean, if you're following this news and all that, what do you feel? What would you do? Because I see from social media, it's like a lot of people like being angered by it.
嗱，咁樣我今日就 translate 少少啦。咁今日咧，即係阿 Jessie 覺得即係有少少嘅可惜。
Hi 樹鳳 ，Hi Melina，OK，Melina 講 ，OK，
即係
你繼續講啦。其實 translate 唔 translate，OK 講。
係啦，即係阿 Jessie 嘅最摯愛嘅偶像，即係鄭秀文嘅摯愛就出櫃啦。
唔係佢啊，
即係佢唔係出軌，佢被逼出軌。
Okay, but the thing is, it's like it's not really like it's interrupted. I think also because it's like raining and all these things, like. The purpose of the Facebook Live itself is not really saying like who's right or who's wrong. It's just that I see a lot of people being angered by it. It's like I'm just curious. It's like, what are your first response? What is your first emotions and your first feelings when you read about news like this? Like for instance, maybe for him it's like, I don't think he knows Sammy Cheng or Andy Hui if it's not because of me, right? And he was forced to listen to her song in a way. So probably to him, I will like just address like the questions of like the Notre Dame thing. It's like you know, we have been to Spain. We have seen a lot of like really really beautiful cathedrals and all these things, and it has impressed us in many ways.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you heard of a news of like almost 800 years old.
Yep.
Okay, cathedral like suddenly like over a couple of hours and it's been like really badly ruined. It's like, what will be your first like emotions or thought or like what are the first thing that comes to you? At the same time also for the rest of you who are watching now, it's like really what is your first emotions? Let's talk about it because tonight's Facebook Live I think is like I just want to talk about emotions because later I'm going to share mine. Alright, whichever it is, either the Notre Dame case or it can be like the Sammy Cheng's Andy Hui sort of like case, right? Or it can be any other things because I'm sure there's a lot of things happening. It can be anything among your friends, okay, your family, your workplace, right? Have you heard people getting very emotional? Right.
You know, like recently, because I think you guys know that I'm doing the digital marketings, right? So recently we actually helped a client to do certain analysis on social media. So we did brand sentiments. So brand sentiment is talking about we were going to extract out all the messages and all the comments on a certain post, and we want to see whether there is a negative or positive. You know, at end of the day, once I actually found very interesting things that I found, I found there's a lot of negative comments on certain things, but to look at the results, right, I find that, you know, that's one question coming out. Is this genuine? Is this genuine emotions? Or is it actually being manipulated by the messages? And talking about this, I also would like to share, recently I had a colleague, I just had a chat with him. I said, hey, how are you, Then he said, recently I felt a little of emotions and emotional. So I asked him why is that? So he said, don't know, I just want to find out what I want in my life, right? So maybe because of recently we don't really have, not so busy as last time, and they felt a bit demotivated. But he keep actually looking at the social media.
Hi, Suena. Hi.
And
all
the
these late people.
inspirations.
Yeah.
But I figured out that
Hi, Gilbert.
sometimes we may have an internal danger when we keep looking at this kind sort of the source, like whether it's an emotional articles or whether it's actually a inspiration article, whether it's what not. But without a analysis or filter or think about it, maybe it could came out with a negative emotion. Like you said, like the Sammy Chang, a lot of people is talking about it, but they may feel angry without understand the whole situation.
Maybe even though they understand or whatever, I'm just curious to see if there's no right and wrong. You have all the rights to be angry, especially if like you find that Sammy is like someone that you love and whatever. It's just different reactions, and I feel for her. Right, because it's like I've grown up together with her songs. I've been following her since I was a teenager and all that, and I've been really very loyal to her. And people who knows me knows that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So it's this like when I heard about the news, I can feel for her. I don't feel sorry in fact for her, because I can feel for her in a sense. And after that, I realized that probably I feel for myself, because the thing is like the first thing that comes to me is like, I feel hurt. I feel pain for her, and I can really understand of like probably she must be going through probably a deal of pain now. But after that, right? Okay, I realize it's like whatever that I'm feeling towards her probably is just a speculative things, It's just like I think or I thought, yeah, it must be like a great deal of pain for her. But then after deeper understanding and thinking about it, I was just sharing with Kong Yu, is like I think it actually brings out, okay, a lot of past pain that I've gone through, like my personal relationship and all that. It's like when I feel for her in a way that after that I thought back into it, it's like actually probably is bringing out some residues of like emotions that have left inside me, which I've gone through it. Okay, one thing is I would say that I don't feel angry, I just feel homesick. It's like the thing is like today I just feel a lot of like homesick. It's like for Notre Dame it's a waste, but I don't think that the whole relationship part between Andy and Sammy, I would say that it's a waste. I would just say that it's like, oh, probably someone has missed a test or failed a test, okay? All right, now back to the questions of like Kong Yu first.
How
it's
we
like,
felt, right?
how you felt. Like, what was the first emotions? And those of you who are listening now, it's like, I really want, it's like, this is a normal casual. You can see that it's like, we're on bed. This is like, our bed. It's supposed to be Hui Yi's bed, but I told her it's like, 唔使自由得瞓㗎嘛, okay? I don't think
I'm
about sleeping.
to sleep,
Oops.
right?
Yeah,
I may
this is
fall
like,
to sleep.
I'm just really curious. It's like if genuinely, if you ask yourself now, probably most of you are in bed as well. When you hear about like news like this, it can be any other news recently or any of news from your friends or whatever. What was your first emotional reaction?
Yeah, there's a few comments here. We'll get to them in a show.
Yeah.
For the Notre Dame Cathedral, of course, the first thing that hit me was like, wow, I can't believe it happened. You know what I mean? And the second thing was like, there are all sorts of memories of the cathedrals that we saw in Spain that came to me, and then it's like imagining that being damaged.
Yes.
Right? And this is before I looked at the details that I had to share with my listeners on radio, right? The extent of the damage and what was saved and what was completely burnt. This was before that. So my initial thoughts were that. It's like, I can't imagine like this big, not just a big monument in Paris, but one of such significance for many perspectives, not just for Christianity or for religious purpose, but also it's a monument that's referred to in so many things, so many literature, art, poetry, you know, stories.
Like Hunchback of
It's
Notre
like
Dame.
a lot of
It's
people
like
is
we watch
building
it.
something
It's-
that has been so long.
That's right, and it's got a meaning to so many people, even though it's so
Yes.
far away in
Yes.
France,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Even to people all around the world.
Yeah.
So it's like that impact of, something meaningful, even in a small way, to so many people around the world, and it's like damaged,
Yes.
right, or badly damaged, and at first I didn't know to what extent,
Yeah.
right? So I was like, wow, okay, imagine if it was completely burnt to the ground. What does that mean? You know, also the significance of how the symbolism actually of Notre Dame
Yes.
as a meaningful building for
Yeah.
everyone around the world.
Yeah.
So that's my first
So that was
sort of feelings.
your first feeling.
Yeah.
It's like, what about all of you? It's like when you heard about the news, okay? So, I mean, in case maybe some of you are not aware of the news, it's like, okay, because it's like you might be busy working or whatever, right? So let's say if you hear something like this, it's like something which is like having like a very rich historical background or whatsoever has been suddenly like being like ruined in a way. Either it's natural disaster or in this case itself, like it could be, you know, it's like it could be maybe a plotted thing. Okay, so what is your first reaction towards it? Okay?
My first reaction was like, stand from a netizen. I mean, those who live there. This is something that is about their home. Again, they feel a bit waste because this is their home, and then this represent them.
Yeah.
The hurt and the pain. That was my first reaction. So.
Brian's comment is what a shame. I think he was referring to how else to describe
the
the Notre Dame fire, right?
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian says, "Oh my God, the only permanent is impermanence."
Oh, yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah,
that's the deep thing. Okay. So it's like a lot of times we are always constantly like, you know, looking for security, stability, permanence.
Yeah.
I mean, the more we try to look for that, I guess that this period of time itself, those of you who have followed our Facebook Live for the past few months, and it will go on up to even May that we've talked about it, okay? Right? And these are really the few months where the more where we are longing, chasing, holding on to permanence, holding on to security, to stability, the more we will be given like the highest lessons. Okay.
Yeah, talking about that, surrounding of my friends, I mean even myself also will have it, especially the security. I think when we are talking about security, it's not only about something that is belongs to you only. It's like something that you can control, be it in your career. You know, sometimes like when we are so busy of something and we felt that we will ask ourselves why we are so stressed about it. I think it's all because of we want to feel valued. You know, we want to feel that we are able to do something. We are able to control something. So then I have another friend also have these questions that why I'm paying so much of attention to my career, but at the end of the day, for what? Chase for what? You know, that kind of insecurity.
This period as well, a lot of questions of that.
Yes.
A lot of those examples that will come into our brain and memories that triggered dreams also, even
Hi,
though
Judith.
we may not be able to interpret.
Talking about dreams, I just don't know why this month, because last time I had a lot of dream and I told myself that not to dream. So I have been stopped dreaming for quite some time, but recently it just came back. Yeah, I also not sure why.
I mean, a lot of things is like because of the energy as well. A lot of
Correct,
things from the subconscious itself is trying to surface to the conscious.
Yes.
A lot of things that probably we've been denying out as well, consciously or unconsciously, somehow it needs to surface out in a way that we have to face the truth. And grow and learn from it. It's like, why is it so that I felt like doing this Facebook Live? There's no really like not ultimate intention. It's just sharing. Okay, so all of you guys, if you have anything to share, probably you can also share with me. Of course, like, why is it so? Because I was really addressing to my emotions when I firstly see the whole news of like, you can call it betrayal. Okay, as Kevin Tan put this, like probably she felt betrayed or whatsoever. Yeah, we can call it betrayal. It's like the first moment that came to me is like I have a lot of feeling for her. I feel pain, I feel sad in a sense, okay? I don't really feel angry, alright, but I feel for her in a way that, oh, probably she must be going through a really, really tough time now. And then after that, it's like, it makes me to think and reflect on, is like, why do I even feel that way? Because in the sense of like, I realized that I have gone through probably similar sort of like situations where I felt that it is like the most difficult path in my life itself, where suddenly it's like, you know, things suddenly get out of control.
Yes.
And it's like you do not know what to do with your life anymore.
Yes.
When things of like betrayal in terms of relationship like this so-called happen. Okay. So I am not so sure about outside, because recently, right, okay, I hear from clients, okay, different clients and all that, it's like there's a lot of like some sort of like betrayal cases. It means that there's a lot of expectations not being met, as in like you've been very nice, you've been like how to say, you have like been cultivating, nurturing, right? Certain people, it can be like people in your team, in your company, it can be friendship, it can be family members, okay, it can be loved ones, and then eventually you find that like somehow they did something in a way that is beyond your expectations.
You know, talking about this, my first reactions of knowing about the Andy Hui case is different. Probably it's not about betrayal part, but because I'm a very curious person, so I was asked like, you know, it's in a taxi,
Right.
and why would you do something that in front of someone, you know, in front of someone, and you are quite a popular.
Correct. I was thinking the same thing as well.
Yes, and
one of the
you know,
earliest
talking about this, sometimes like talking about
analysis I had.
don't talk about these situations, okay, let's talk about off topic about this thing. I was thinking that someone who did something so-called stupid or something like betrayal or whatever, is it because of recently the person is also being affected by the negative energy as well, and this is one of the tests that how they actually go through with this, you know, maybe this maybe someone that actually have gone through certain things, but this sort of the things that is kind of a test for them, that how they actually confront to the negative energy maybe.
But you see, now this year, of course, overall a pig year itself is a self-punishment year. Alright, so overall it's like the chances of like people getting themselves into a self-punishing sort of like situations will be somehow higher. Okay, and another thing is also I try to understand is like, I'm not saying who's wrong or who's right, because at the end of the day, right, I believe nowadays that it's like everything there's a lessons to learn and to grow and to show us, because if we are talking about who's right and who's wrong, right, it's calling like who's black and who's white to the whole symbol of the town symbol of yin and yang. It's like, you know, it's like the black calling white and the white calling black. Because in Taoism symbol itself, it's all equations to the balance of the universe. So it's like, because I believe that everything happens is like for everyone to has a lesson to learn. So the thing is, I would just say is that I feel that is a ways it is sad in the sense of, oh, someone have just missed a test or have failed in a way.
Somebody's just blown it.
That's
also one of the feelings I had.
But then the thing is, we are all human. Okay, we are all human.
Right?
People make mistakes, right? All of us, I mean myself, I'm not sure about those of you out there, but somehow we have made mistakes in life, okay? It's just in what context, in what sort of like situations, all right? So I will just try to plead as in like probably condemning is really not the best way to actually do it, all right? Right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's like whoever is facing the test itself, let them handle it themselves, right? There's really no point for us to condemn or whatsoever. We just need to allow time for them to learn from it, to grow out from it, and to heal from it probably if there's any damage done. Okay? But the thing is, if you ask me, is like, you know, there are all sorts of different types of people around. All right? There are people who are like receiving a test, and there are also people who are giving the test. Okay? So, I mean, if you look at like I would say recently when I go to Shanghai for a consult, I've realized one thing, like this quote in Chinese quote itself, is like, which is very meaningful to me, as in like they say, 無風不起浪, okay? 事出必有因. It's like everything that happens, every situations, every actions, every decisions that a person make, at the end of the day, there must be a reason behind it. Either consciously or subconsciously. All right? Some people, I'm not saying who in particular, but I mean, just this is a case, okay? But there are many people out there are also in a position where they are always constantly trying to test other people, or you can say seduce, okay? And I have actually, of course, gone through those moments in my life, okay, where I used to have a husband, okay, all right, that are also in a way that, of course, in a way that have like, in a way, failed certain tests that's been given to him. Okay, so and then there are these people that we always label them as a third party who are trying to also seduce or whatever means that they will try to capture attention. Okay, and really after so many years I realized that it's really no right or wrong. It's like everyone is just playing their role, okay, in life itself, that a role that they've chosen to play, and every stage in life itself is like, as I said, is a lesson or it's a test, okay. So it's just that when these things happen itself, it's like, yeah, I feel that, oh, it's like why after 30 over years, okay, why after all these years of like, you know, and then suddenly you've just blown it. I felt emotional in that sense, but it's also a very good lessons for myself to remind myself there's really no why, no questioning. Things happen, and yeah, we just have to like continue on to like, you know, face all this test.
Yeah.
Okay, and Melina was asking a question. Melina Gong, you say that you have a question and you have someone that's trying to make you emotional, okay, which you did not threaten him, which is a guy. Now it really bothers you, okay. I don't understand your question. Is it are you trying to say that like someone is trying to make you feel emotional? Is that how?
I think what she's trying to say is maybe there's something.
Hi Britta, thank you for tuning in. Yeah,
like
okay.
something with Melina and with the guy have some relationship or something else, that because she said that I thought I felt good previously, but now she felt a bit emotional.
Yeah, because I really don't get like, you know,
and
yeah,
Melina say yes.
So what
yes.
was it that she said that when you say
maybe she has some relationship with this
related
guy.
To work, okay.
No, with
yeah,
him.
related to work, okay. Yeah. And she said that
related to work. She said that she thought that because she didn't threaten him, but she thought that she felt good previously, but now feel very emotional. Is it something related about relationship as well?
Relationship in work related relationship, she was saying. Yeah, okay. And I mean, you mean that it's like previously you feel that the work relationship with this particular person was good, and then like now suddenly it feels a bit like tense, where it makes you feel slightly emotional over it, even though you do not threaten him or whatsoever in any sense. Okay. Now if that's the case, it's like sometimes you see, I mean, for my opinion, it's like we don't really have to consciously threaten. Yeah, okay, we don't really have to consciously threaten someone, because you see, whatever we do, okay, sometimes can actually trigger the insecurity of other people. Let's say, for instance, a work relationship, okay, sometimes you
which
could
she
be,
says that is a work relationship.
Yeah, because when it comes to work relationships, sometimes when it comes to work among colleagues, right, you yourself might be just doing your best, okay, thriving in terms of your work, but yet, okay, being and like, you know, yourself like being the best at your work itself can actually trigger the insecurity or fear of other people.
Yeah.
Like recently I read this saying is that say that the angel in us can easily threaten the demon in others. Okay? Because it's like, you know, when we try to be the best of ourselves, the best form of ourselves, right, sometimes it can actually trigger the demons in others, because they have fear, they have insecurity, they felt that it's like they have what we call this like a scarcity mentality. It's like when you are good, it means that I will look bad.
Or
I will look bad.
Be perceived as not as good.
Or be perceived as not as good. And all these things actually branch out from insecurities, and probably that don't blame the person, try to understand them.
Yes.
All right? Because it's like why they have this sort of emotion is probably like since childhood itself, they have been through comparison a lot. It can be their family members that keep on comparing them, okay? And these things happens a lot, as in like probably among siblings or brothers and sisters, and sometimes it can be just minor simple things that the parents can tell them as like, why are you like not doing as well as your brother or your sister? Why are they so good and yet like you are so lousy? So you see, when someone around us keep comparing us with other people since young, it has subconsciously created a lot of fear inside us, that now we believe that if someone is doing good, automatically we will be bad. All right, so therefore in a working environment itself, right, when someone sees you who's performing well, doing your best, okay, like getting a lot of attention, so-called, immediately it triggers a lot of fear in them.
Yes, because it's just like back to the Chinese code that you have mentioned. There must be a reason behind of it. I mean, even with all my colleagues, they always sometimes. I think most of my colleagues right now, the millennials right now, they always face this issue, like they lost their passion. So sometimes I would actually ask them, how do you define your own passion, you know, all sort of stuff. So I started to coaching them, I mean, to do some coach and to by asking them, you know, how you live when during your young age, you know. So I have a colleague that her sister is very, very smart. She studies very, very good. And he always being compared with his own sister by relative, not by the parents. So he felt the anger, and and in his mind he would say that, you know, I don't believe that those people who score A means it's very good. He has this thought, but you see, it's not easy for him to get away of this. But I told him, you know, with this kind of mindset, you will constantly create unnecessary anger, and the angry aura, it will be surrounded with the office, and you can't be the leader in future because you are the one who's going to inspire the other half. You should be neutral. But now he find out that because he's being compared last time, so in his heart, he's actually lack of confidence.
And it's also very important. It's like, that's why the topic for today is like, I will say that the highest form of compassion, which is also the toughest form to really learn, all right, is really having it for those who least deserve it. It's not easy. I've been through it. I'm still learning. Right? Awareness is very important. I have to keep on constantly remind myself. You know, sometimes I look at certain people, it just blow me up. All right, but after that, then I think it's like, why is it certain people behaving or reacting in a certain way? Okay, there's always a reason behind it. All right,
these are the people that seemingly are the bad people, the one that's labeled,
so-called labeled
as the
bad.
third party, all those names call them.
Politics,
or you can
something.
call them terrorists, or like third party, or all these like all these people. But somehow, they might have like a different view. They have been brought up a different way, that somehow they are ended up in such a situation. I know it is not an easy compassion to practice. It's like when I first gone through my relationship betrayers, right? Okay, there's a big war. It's like a World War III happening in my entire house. Okay, it's like you see like flying televisions and like flying cupboards and everywhere. All right, so I can totally understand when that thing kicks in and awareness at its lowest point and emotional takes over, and all these things happen. And it has happened, and I have to I have to talk to my children. I have to really realize it and like try to overcome it, right? It is not easy because at that time all I see is just hatred, frustration, anger, and I really feel like, I mean, I'm not like suggesting anything, but I really feel like killing someone at that time. Okay, all right. So, but then over the years, I am really, really glad that metaphysics helps me. Okay. Of course, spirituality, religions, Guan Yin Ma helped me a lot. Okay. So in a way that when I have gone through that, now I start to realize it's like everyone, when you react to certain things, there's a very, very deep rooted reasons, okay, that trigger a person to react a certain way. Okay. And most of these reasons itself can be even traced back since our childhood time. So Melina, when you were asking me, okay, that you feel betrayed too. It's like a lot of you actually had this betrayal issues, okay? Like even Kay Wong, right? Kay Wong was saying, hi Jessie, it's true. Recently, a lot of my friends felt betrayed, included myself. Now you see, if you really feel betrayed in some sort of like whatever situations that you're in, it can be in terms of work, friendship, relationship, even family members or whatever. Now, this is a time for us to all these situations could have happened to make us realize one thing, okay? We can actually be betrayed in the sense that probably, right, it's just that, how to say, our expectations can be high, or we put too much of our expectations towards the other people.
Yes.
I mean, yes, at the end of the day, people still betrays us, even though we are at a position where there's nothing much we can do.
Yes.
Okay? All right? And when all these betrayals happen, you just have to realize, right, probably it's a gift, right? To me, seriously, I see it as a gift. Okay? I see it as a gift to find myself, or really finding myself, okay? Because if that betrayal have not happened, I wouldn't be where I am now. I will still be like once a housewife, or someone without a really proper job, like just doing consultations, work limitations to the tempo that I'm in, okay? If none of all this so-called betrayal happened. So now I really don't want to see it as a betrayal anymore. I would rather see it as a lessons for everyone to learn and to grow out of it, okay? At that time, it was very, very difficult, and it happened in like a clash year. That's why if the people ask me, like everyone is like frantic, is like afraid of like whenever there's a clash year happening, okay? Right, but the thing is, clash year is crucial, and it's very important if you have to grow and make changes in your life. Okay, so if you see all these things as betrayal, right, it could be really a platform or a chance for you to really see or let go or relieve yourself from the things which is really holding you back or not serving you any good.
Yeah, actually talking about it, I have no issue about this thing, because when I many years ago I had in this work, and then my superior find that I'm very threatened to her, because someone is actually asking me to do something, because the other party actually would like to use my skills in order to dismiss the other one, which is my superior. But at that time, my emotion, I just felt that, well, I maybe it could be something that I better than the person, and the person will feel very threatened. So actually, I don't have that kind of feeling of betrayal. Yeah, and in fact, I don't really, I ignore, I ignore the feeling. But I also know that, you know, why this superior is reacting on this matter, because if I were her, probably I could be reacting the same like her. So I think this is one of the compassions that you mentioned about this, right? So because of that, I have gone through the test, and it turns out there's something that I learned from the situation is, because I have not bothered so much, and I did quite a good job in my proposal, and the other management is actually like my work. But on the other side, my superior, because she felt threatened, and she just suddenly make a very big mistake that is actually fall into some how to say, the profit loss in the company, and she has to leave to the company.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think this is one of the situations that if if you, let's say you yourself, you felt a bit betrayed, so maybe there's some reason behind of it, that why you're feeling it.
I mean, definitely everything happens, there's a reason behind it. It's like,
but it's just that how are we going to encounter this kind of situations? Maybe a little of the mindset tweak. I know it's not easy, but I think I have been practicing for this for quite many years lah. So far it's so good.
Awareness lah.
Awareness.
I mean,
like, like especially during the clash here, there's too much of emotion. Sometimes I'm also human, you know. No matter how positive I am, I may feel, you know, feel a bit demotivated when there's some failure. But I treat myself, it's okay, just do it again, and just do it again, and just do it again. You know, last year, I think last year was my worst year compared to this year, because there's so many happening, there's so many colleagues that fall into depressions, and then I feel so tiring because I have a lot of things to do, but I keep solving the problem. So at the end of the year, my feeling is, I put in the last day of the 2018, I feel very tiring. I feel a bit how to say, it's like the energy loss. But something that I realized, I found myself that have improved in my EQ. I have no fear in solving problem. Previously, I want to go for my boss to solve a problem, but now I will solve it myself.
Right.
So I felt that I'm being meditate in this kind of problems.
Okay.
And
did you have a lot of punishments last year?
Last year.
From the dog?
I have a dog.
Oh, okay.
But last year is not the dog year, ma. So it's
last year is a dog year.
no, last year is not a dragon year but I have a
Oh
dog.
my God, but
Maybe
yeah, bullying
Grand Duke,
punishment,
yeah, probably seeing Grand Duke as well.
Probably.
Yeah, but
And
it's
it's
true.
in
I mean,
my
a lot
career.
of the things that we suffer from, right, is actually good for us.
But
good
there
for
is one thing.
good for our growth.
There is
Yeah.
something happened that it tricked my mind is during the half year I had an appraisal with my boss, and then we just shared out. I just told him I feel very tiring, I feel like I want to give up, but anyway, because I have shared, I have opened up my mind, and I think that now mine is okay. We still have another half year. I think things will be getting better.
Anyone of you there have anything to share? Is like
Yeah.
any news or any things that you have like listened to lately? Okay, it can be something happening in your workplace, it can be your friends or anything. It's like or something that triggers you to react emotionally.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, I mean, to me, it's like why I want to share this is also because I thought of like since I can't sleep tonight, okay, so it's like when you can't sleep, you make people who stays up together with you. That's
My
being
friend
evil.
just texted
That's
me
being
and said
evil.
that I look sleepy
So
now.
that's been plain evil. It's like I can't sleep, you can't sleep too. It's like and
I'm not going for the trip, by the way.
Yeah,
and
Only
just
the
me and
just
Betsy.
the FOE.
and then he got to work tomorrow, but it's like when I can't sleep, everyone else can't sleep. That's being so bad. But I thought of like, oh no, maybe it's like for us to know all these things so that, you know, I mean, because things happens anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay? Like the moment we wake up tomorrow and the first thing we go out, there could be someone that somehow triggers us emotionally and we can just lose it, okay? But when things like this happen, it's like probably it will be a good thing for us to reflect and to think back and to calm ourselves, okay? Maybe sometimes like after we lose it, then we think back, okay? It's still better than nothing, okay? But still better than like keep losing it without reflecting on it,
Yeah.
alright? So it's like if any of these things happen, probably it will be good for us to like really think about it as in why. Alright, first to me is like I'm very curious. I always want to like find out the reason, as in like sometimes like people who, let's say, the third party issues, okay, the third party issues and or the seducer or whatever you call it. Of course 牛唔飲水唔撳得牛頭低嘅, okay, there's I mean both party 一個願打一個願捱. But the thing is like if you try to understand people from this perspective, you know, and being a consultant, I have the privilege to actually seen a lot of like people behavior and from different perspective, like people's stories without judging, okay, because I don't think I'm in a position to judge anyone, all right, but I've like really see people as in like they just enjoy like jumping or jumping from one situation to another situations or one relationship to another
Keep
relationship
repeating.
in a way to that they see it as like a game, a challenging game, okay, especially those of like those of you or people who have like 7 killing structure or very strong 7 killings in the chart itself, right? Because like, you know, they see challenges and of course they can actually put this needs of like challenging themselves in different perspective. Some of them can challenge themselves into making more money, okay, or like being better in terms of career, and then some can be like challenging themselves on like physical progress, you know, they can be like, you know, having a 6-pack 7 killings body and all these things, okay. But some people actually can challenge themselves into relationship. It's like how many people I can like have, okay, and attract, and then it's not to say right or wrong, but there are some people like that, and they will always target people who are most difficult to get. As in, like probably those people are like labeled as 專石黃老五, you know, like the what do you call it, like bachelor? It's like what, diamond bachelor or whatever. There's like a name. It's like there's a name to it, right? There's like
The most eligible.
the most eligible bachelors and all that. No, sometimes, you know, these people, they like to target these people as in like, okay, maybe they are difficult to get, or they like to target people who are like probably they are mostly like almost like a very a monk-like type, in the sense that they are not involved in any relationship and they've been known for not involving in any relationship most of the time, and yet these are the people, they find it very satisfying to try to win over someone like that. Or it could be someone that is already married, okay, happily married, okay, especially there's been like label of like golden couple especially, okay. And then there are people in a way that they find it very intriguing to actually test and see whether they can actually win over people like this. Okay, so there's really no right or wrong. It's just that their role, they feel they have a need, and then the need itself is probably in a sense that, you know, I mean, some can call it 任性, or some can call it 公主病 or whatever. You know, the need is like probably it's like since young, okay, they get the best out of everything. Okay, it means like whatever they want to get it.
Yeah.
Okay, and things becomes too easy for them to get it.
Yeah.
So they are more like, you know, inclined to getting things which is hard to get.
They feel more interested to get it when the challenge, I mean, there's more challenge.
There's more challenge because it's like things are just too easy.
Yes.
So like easy things, you don't just appreciate it anymore.
Yes.
Right? And so for that, the more difficult it is to get something, the better the satisfaction.
But I think this is what we say, so-called self-punishment. So they need to punish themselves.
Brian, I
to
miss
feel
you
good.
all. I will demand you all. Okay, what Brian says here, I give up on believing in loyalty.
But
It
Brian,
becomes a
I'm loyalty.
Okay, we cannot control anyone else. We can only control ourselves. Our loved ones pass away. All right, do you take it as betrayal? Well, yes, I do. You can choose to say the heaven is a third party, but I would choose to think my loved one had left me for a better choice. I mean, yeah, probably maybe you're referring to, like, you know, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, we know your personal issues and all these things as well, okay? Now, I mean, in a way, how we see things itself, there's no right or wrong, okay? It's just that we have to give time so that we believe that everyone eventually, hopefully, will be able to see it from the light rather than from the dark.
Yeah.
All right? I mean, that's all the purpose of spirituality anyway, okay? So, I mean, in a way that, loyalty. At the end of the day, I mean, what is loyalty? Yeah, what is loyalty?
I find that this loyalty, there is no right or wrong. I just find that the expectations.
Yeah.
Everyone define loyalty different way. Loyalty means that I do this good for you and you must do this bad.
To me, is of course, loyalty is a great thing.
Yeah.
Okay, but the thing is, do you demand it?
Yes.
Or do you respect it? Right. Let's say, for instance, like I mean, for me personally, right, whatever things that I've gone through in life itself, any obstacles, any hurdles, any situations, right, I will try to calm myself and I will ask myself one question: if Guan Yin Ma is in my position, I mean, those of you who know me, you know, like Guan Yin Ma and me, right? Okay, I'll just ask myself a question, as in, if Guan Yin Ma is in my position, what would she do? All right, and of course, when it comes to all religions and all that, of course, they talk about loyalty a lot. Okay, of course, all religion will want, okay, as much as they can, of like someone to stay loyal to a guru, okay, to stay loyal to one particular guru or one particular religions or whatever. But the thing is, but they can understand. I mean, like, in a way that the God don't punish themselves if suddenly, like, you know, if their devotees from Guan Yin Ma goes to Mother Mary. All right, and I'm very, very sure that Mother Mary don't punish herself if any of her devotees from Mother Mary goes to Guan Yin Ma. All right, but the thing is, it's like we as human, we punish ourselves when that happens. Okay, so to me, it's like the loyalty thing is like, it is a good virtue, it is a good thing, it is a good thing for us to respect. And when we respect this, we also respect people's so-called like decision. Okay, because at the end of the day, of course, we can put in a lot of effort to maintain the loyalty in terms of respect and trust. We will try to maintain this as much as possible, right? And it's a good challenge. It's a good things to grow ourselves into. But as you say, or as you mentioned before, like, you know, like people have free will, people have their own choice, okay? So everyone has a choice. People can choose to be loyal to you at one moment, and they might have otherwise other thinking at the next moment. And there's really no right or wrong. It's like sometimes we just grow out of it, okay? So as in, like, you know, when we were in like primary school, you know, we can be like our school is the best, but probably we move on to secondary school as like, oh, my secondary school is the best, okay? And you move on to, like, you know, university, it's like, oh, my university is the best, so which is the best, okay? All right, so I mean, it's just
a path, it's just a journey.
Okay, so in a way that I will just say is that Okay, and especially when it comes to emotions, the more that we shouldn't hold on to things. As you say, that for out of the 5 elements, emotions is governed by the water.
Yeah.
So, and loyalty is something stagnant, hold on there. Okay, so and water is not something that can hold stagnant, right? If you hold stagnant to it itself, right? Okay, it's like 反效果㗎. It is not flowing. Okay, and it will get stuck.
It will turn
and
out
it
something
will
that is
it
not
will
expected.
change in terms of texture, in terms of 質量, quality,
The quality.
and that is not good for our emotions. Therefore, it is something when it talks about loyalty, it's debatable. To be very, very honest, everything is debatable if you understand the concept of yin and yang.
Yeah.
Because everything is debatable. So at the end of the day, there's really no point arguing, but I guess maybe understanding it will be better. If like somehow if we feel betrayed, it will be good for us to maybe think deeper from both sides. Why do we feel betrayed in the first place? And at the same time, why would that so-called the other person betrayed us? Okay, what have triggered that to happen?
Yeah.
Like probably.
I was also thinking like a couple of things. One is, you know, the way we see all these difficult people, right? Difficult circumstances, situations, and even for today's topic, people, right? That cause a lot of trouble, troublemakers, third party, people who interrupt marriages and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should always see them in spiritual teachings as wish-fulfilling jewels, right? As these very valuable things that come into our lives to teach us certain lessons.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and these lessons, and I know these lessons are not easy to learn. It is really very, very difficult to learn lessons like this, especially when it befalls our own self.
Yep.
Okay, so when we see for other people, it's easy for us to condemn, to comment, to
Advise.
release our emotions on them. But the thing is, when it befalls us, okay, personally, it will be a total different story. Okay, but I mean, if we are aware of it, as in to see it, as you said, as a wish-fulfilling jewel, that's a very nice way to put it, all right? Or as a catalyst for us to grow. Because things need to happen, because we are in this world to grow and to be better, okay? If we're in heaven, then we don't have to grow, right? Okay, people talks about like, you know, heaven, people talks about Tin Tong and all these things.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we're there, then it probably it's like it's only all the good guys. Then there's no point of growing anymore.
Yes.
Okay, so we are here on earth is because we need to grow. We need to like
Learn from the
enlighten
lessons.
ourselves. Hopefully,
Yeah.
okay. It's like and the more we grow from it, the more enlightened we become, and that's the ultimate goal. Okay, that we want to reach at the end of the day. I mean, for me personally, I mean, it might be different from you. So when you see all these situations itself, right, it would be good for us to remind ourselves that the awareness comes to mind and like ask ourselves, it's like, why is it so? Okay, it's like understand the person. Why would the person behaves, okay, or reacts the way that they behaves and reacts? Okay, all right.
The other thing is that, you know, I was listening in and thinking of a lot of things as you were talking and who you were talking as well. Do we deep down inside our subconscious are actually calling for these examples? Like in the case of Sammy, right? Was she asking for a clarification? Do you know what I mean? And then she got her answer. Well, okay,
Yeah.
maybe, you know.
There's
so,
the
yeah.
energy, the subconscious
Correct.
has been attracting the law of attraction, like attracting this answer. Actually, I do agree, you know, sometimes it could be because like sometimes when I was stuck on certain things, while I keep finding it, it just so happened I met someone and we talk about it, and then oh, I found the answer, you know. Then you got that. It's like maybe I want to get
In
some
other words,
clarity.
it's like you get what you ask for.
In a way, and we may not subconsciously like this would be right. It's
Yeah.
like maybe, you know, you're looking for signs or you're looking for further information and clarification.
Yes.
And it could be also about not just, you know, this is never really truly about the other person, right? The other person, it's always about you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? What you are able to
But I would say that even though
grow
if,
from.
but even though if you're not looking for it,
Okay.
but if you're open, like, you know, to enlighten yourself, to grow, and she's very, very deeply attached to her religion. She's a very, very strong Christian, all right, which is, I'm happy for her, and I'm really, really, like, you know, I feel for her how devoted she is. And when you are going through that, you see, all religions, I believe that they have this pure sense of teaching everyone to grow,
Yeah.
okay, and to be better. Even though if you're not asking for it, when the time is ready, they will throw you with this sort of things for you to see the truth and for you to actually probably how to grow from it. And grow from it doesn't mean that you really need to like move on. That's just always a choice, okay? All right? Then how do you see this sort of like test?
But sometimes I do find that in another way, I just find that, you know, all sort of this kind of emotion is also depends on how are we going to handle with the emotions.
Yeah, definitely. It's like handling of emotions.
It's also a learning to me
and
to how to handle this kind of emotion. It's not the situation, it's your own emotions.
And if you look at the chart for Sammy, I'm like really not surprised because she's a Renwu. And Renwu, in a way that like this year itself, you see her direct officer sitting on Friend Star. Okay, and then another thing is next year she will see Gengze, which is also a clash or direct clash to a spouse palace. And then of course learning the lessons of like relationships and all that. I mean, this 2 years itself, the chances is like the highest for us to learn. Now the thing has happened. The thing is like, you know, you really look at her internally as how she actually sees the whole thing. And I really prayed and hoped that in a way that because she's so like spiritually based, over the years she have changed a lot. Okay, over the years, like she used like openly admit that she used to be, of course, very bad-tempered, very principled or very stubborn onto certain things. But over the years, you have really seen that she have changed a lot. She have like opened up a lot, and she have like go through a lot in life itself. That her is okay, so hopefully maybe this
another lesson
this
for her.
Particular thing itself, you know, it will be a lesson for her to maybe like how to see the relationship and how to grow out from it. Okay, and I really think that probably at the end of the day, it's like it really doesn't need to like 搞到頭崩額裂啦.
Yeah.
Okay, you really don't have to like, you know, kill someone. Okay, literally to resolve the whole issue. So if like, I mean,
it's like I said, handle it.
Handle
it with how you handle. I mean, how you handle the emotion is the outcome of how you're going to handle the situations.
Yeah. So I mean, for her, it's like, and those of you, if you have like a horse in your spouse palace, okay, you will also know that the possibilities of like some challenge or some growth in terms of relationship will bound to happen this year and next year as well. Okay, all right. So if you do have a horse there, probably it's something that you might want to look into as well. And sometimes changes itself might be a good thing. Okay, because you always have to trust and believe that if you believe and have faith in yourself, all the changes is happening for the best of you. Okay, so when things need to change, just allow it. When things need to surface, just allow it to surface. All right.
Okay.
What time is it now?
Jessie, it's time for you to do packing now. It's 12:30.
So 22.
And we need to go by 2 a.m.
Yeah, okay. It's like I can pack very fast, okay? All right. So it's like, I hope that it's just that I want to keep everyone awake.
Yeah, and of course,
I can't sleep.
we must briefly also remind everyone of the current period that we're in.
Hi,
right?
Jackie.
March, April, particularly interesting times, challenging times, stressful times.
Yeah. And 2 more days it will be the full moon.
Yes, and the full moon's coming out.
Yeah,
also.
full moon is coming out.
The emotion is even more.
Yes, particularly it's a full moon in Libra.
Yeah.
Right, so it's got to
full
do
moon
with
of Libra.
Full moon in
Libra, the sign of Libra. So it's it's definitely
balance.
got to do with what's right, what's wrong, evaluation of the scales, and then also in terms of relationships. And issues like that.
Like I know for the past few Facebook Live, we've been really talking about like all this like managing emotions, how the portal's opening, and then all this lab tests or lessons like is coming out. I know we've been talking about these things for the past few Facebook Live, and I just want to constantly remind again, because sometimes it might just slip our minds. Okay, it might just forget about it. So it's like, so whenever we are reminded, and when these things happens to us, when it triggers upon us itself, at least we have the higher level of awareness to handle the whole situation.
Yes.
And awareness is always the first, I would say, key to change. Okay, so it's very, very important for us to at least know what's going on in the external. So there will be more and more issues that might trigger us emotionally. So how we react and what are the choices we want to react on those triggers itself is really a choice.
Correct.
But I
Right?
think everyone have to find their own way to release those emotions as well, so that they can know, it will turns up like react into a positive way. Yeah, I personally I have my own way. When I am very emotional, usually I will take some time to do meditations to myself.
That's good.
I will do a painting without talking to anyone, or I will do something else. And while doing the painting, I will be releasing my anger or whatever negative emotion, because I still have to be honest. You see, sometimes we still have to
Jackie
release.
said you are coming back from a fire puja. That's very good. Yeah.
So sometimes we have to find some way to release it.
Yeah.
And while you're releasing, and then you will asking yourself a lot of why I have this anger, why I have this, and ultimately after you've done the meditations, you will find some good answers.
Now, talking about painting, right, suddenly something just come to me, okay? I think the next Facebook Live that I want to do, I mean, if all of you are into it, right, okay, or open to the idea, because to me, it's like when we look at tarot cards and all these things, it's all pictorial forms to tell you about something. So, I mean, I want the Facebook Live to be more interactive, because it's very boring when it's only us talking in the middle of the night, and yet like no, I don't know what's going on there.
Okay, not too bad. Well, we got some conversations
there's
here.
a lot of conversations there, but
Right.
I want to really reach out more, because it's like in a way that I want it to be two ways.
How to do?
So it's like suddenly when she talk about, of course, paintings itself, right? Okay, let's say maybe we can actually do a Facebook Live where everyone is like well equipped with like a art block or in A4 paper, and you get yourself ready with color pencils, magic color pens, or even crayons, whatever your preference is, okay? And maybe we can actually do a Facebook Live where we start painting pictures, okay, that comes to you, or you feel a picture that best describe your life. I mean, and I've done this before, because I went to workshops and all these things, and actually when people actually drawn out all these paintings itself, right, and then, right, those of you who are participating, maybe you can actually share with us your painting, okay, and then from there we can actually see and read, okay, like what are the things, okay,
It's inside
that
you.
it's inside, okay, by using different colors. It's like how we do the sun reading.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, if you are, I mean, open to it, probably the next Facebook Live we can actually do so. All right, we can just do a Facebook Live where you just share your paintings with us.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever that you draw.
I'll bring my painting.
Yeah, whatever that you draw. Okay, and then just allow yourself to just draw it out, and I think that would be a good idea. I mean, if you're tuning into this and you still can't sleep now, probably can just draw it out on a piece of paper or whatever. It will be good if you can use different color pens, because different colors, different stroke, it also means different things. Okay, so if you're up to it and you can't sleep, okay, just paint yourself something. All right, paint it out and share it on this Facebook Live feed, and and then the next session itself we can actually do
Painting interpretation.
analysis, interpretations.
Yes.
All right.
And just have some fun lah, okay, sharing about it, because it's like, don't make Facebook Live so
One-way
like rigid,
communications.
okay, and so serious, right? Okay, thank you so much. It's
Thank
late.
you, everyone.
You guys better go and sleep.
Yeah,
all
I
right.
need to
Thank you
sleep.
for accompanying me and keeping both of them awake, not alive. Awake. Thank you so much, and really hope to see all of you soon. With that maybe painting analysis,
Yes.
interpretations.
Okay, and
Alright.
Brian, yes, a couple of them are here.
Bye.
There are many
They were
of
just
them.
hiding just
They're
now.
everywhere. They're
Yeah.
everywhere.
The others are here as well. Okay, good night.
Good night.
Good morning.
Okay.
Good night and good morning.
All right.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Night. It's